music. Oh, darn.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the music in this game, all of it is pretty darned good.
The music, like 8-bit, 16-bit music, it is fantastic. It's so underrated.
Yeah, not to mention, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first Zelda game to have individual music for each of the dungeons, too. Oh, and they're starting.
Alright, so we are underway. Apologies for the long delay there. So let's get to it, and yeah, right off the bat, we're gonna be dealing with some RNG. Aren't you excited?
No one told me there would be RNG.
RNG right at the beginning of the run.
I know. That wasn't it, though. Getting the shield just always happens. It's not like you walk up to him and sometimes just get rupees.
Dude, you ruined where I was going with that. I was gonna joke about, man, they got the shield. That's great RNG.
This is why we need to plan these things. But
Well, the teleprompter showed... Oh, wait, never mind. Can't talk about that.
Wait, why do you get a teleprompter? I have to make this up as I go. But in any case, they're on their way to get one of probably the most important early game upgrade, which is the sword. And both of them actually using alternate strats to try to damage boost onto it, and Xander, neither of them gets it, unfortunately. You damage boost off the spine, you can actually grab the sword before the owl starts talking and save yourself a few frames. But they still manage to get a slightly slower version. It's better than just not getting it at all.
And now, for the fun, we get to try to dupe some rupees. So we want to get 10 rupees while here on the beach. And you can see them sticking out their shield, trying to basically collect a rupee twice. And for a couple screens from now, ideally they will each have 10, or else they'll have to do some farming in the village.
They're actually doing pretty well on them by the looks of it. Oh!
Xander just called it at 8.
Yeah, thankfully the game has a whole bunch of this area here where they also need to collect a the first secret seashell right there, and with that he has 10 and the seashell. Uh-oh, Spiraster having a little bit of trouble not getting any rupee drops. There we go. Meanwhile, Xander has already embraced a life of crime. Goodness, that didn't take long.
For shame, good sir. So, yeah, most people know this is an intended mechanic, and because we don't really have time to farm up thousands of rupees, we're going to steal that shovel, buy some bombs, and then steal a bow.
Yeah, in case anyone's wondering, 100% is sadly not best ending, because we have to steal 2 things. So...
maybe we need a best ending category.
Oh goodness, that would take that would take a while.
I mean, as long as we're not running it and we're watching it, it would be worth it, right?
I suppose so. That means convincing other people to run it. And another thing you might notice is... oh! Spiraster accidentally hitting the dog. Is much like at any percent, we're getting the powder through the trendy game rather than doing the whole shenanigans with the mushroom. We will also not be seeing mushroom strats, because they're just not needed.
So now at 100%, we do have to do the trading sequence, right?
Sort of, but not exactly.
But not exactly. That doesn't even make sense.
It turns out there in a handful of spots you can actually skip chunks of the trading sequence. So there are certain parts of it you have to do in order to trigger events, but you don't have to do everything leading up to it because bombs exist. And also, yeah, because bombs exist.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's why we don't pick up that Yoshi doll. There's just no real need for it. Speaking of bombs, we're already seeing a bomb trigger here to, I believe it did work. Yeah, skip the owl flying in. Saves a couple seconds. You'll see more of this later.
Yeah, bombs are the most broken thing in this game. If you drop 2 of them within 4 frames, which is usually on a screen transition, the game gets confused and just triggers the event on whatever screen you're on. So, for example, you just saw there on Xander's screen, the event of putting powder on the raccoon to turn it back into Terran just activates automatically. It looks like Spiraster's trying to pause buffer, and he gets it.
Indeed. Now, so you're seeing the route done differently than you normally would in any percent, and that's partially because we will be getting all the capacity upgrades. So we're actually able to use some bombs early on and not be at risk of running out.
Oh, Xander tried to go for the walking across the pit there, which is actually a pretty challenging trick. Let's see if Spiraster goes for it as well, or he just decides to go. Okay. Unfortunately, his 2 attempts have allowed Spiraster to gain time. Now they're actually really close to each other.
He's just being a good guy, giving them a chance to catch up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and folks are asking, this game did in fact have a US release, but we play on Japanese for a couple of reasons. One is the text is faster, because you can't skip text quickly like you can in, say, the Oracle games. And second is, something you'll be seeing in dungeons, actually. There's a trick that you can do in Japanese 1.0 that you cannot do in later versions.
This sink right now.
Wow. Oh! Mini Moldorm saying, no, I don't like your sink.
Indeed.
Oh gosh, Spiraster, I guess, dropping into the pit there, having a little bit of pit solidarity with Xander trying to do the pit walk earlier.
So you're seeing them opening up the save and quit menu and they open chests or possibly collect certain items. That's a skip the text that appears. So unfortunately, we won't be hearing about the Compass's new feature during this.
Oh my god.
And it does save quite a bit of time when you add it up over the course of the run.
Yeah, the save and quit menu is used for more than just saving and quitting, and it's actually extremely useful in this game. And speaking of useful items, the game thankfully gives you an extremely useful one in Dungeon 1 that they're both about to get here.
I don't know, I never was a fan of this item. I try and use it as little as possible. Definitely not lying.
Yeah, using this item is key to moving fast in this game, because you can, when you get good at using it, you can jump over pits much larger than intended, and it's actually faster to jump diagonally than to run diagonally, so using it frequently will get you a lot of time save in this game.
Indeed, and you'll also see it used coming up for a little bit of a glitch that's pretty easy to do, and you should see it a couple times through the run.
Right there.
Right there, called a, what's it called?
It's called a super jump. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Spirits are taking an unintended death. Thankfully, D1 is small enough that this should not cause him too much trouble, but he is going to lose a little bit of time having to get back to where he was.
If you're going to take a death, that's probably one of the better spots to take it. Get it done early out of the way.
Yeah.
And goodbye, mini-boss. We never got to know you.
Yeah, the game doesn't expect you to have the bow until much, much later, and it is an extremely strong weapon.
I wonder why they didn't expect you to get it early. I mean, stealing's pretty easy, and oh dear, that puts him at a half heart. So he's got to be careful here.
Yeah, thankfully, you can buffer the jump, so he didn't have to go all the way back around the ladder, but alright, come on, Moldorm. Give him those one more hit, and he gets it. Very nice. Xander pulling that one out.
They put the trickiest boss in Dungeon 1.
No, yeah. No lie. Moldorm is actually one of the most obnoxious bosses.
In any game he's in.
Yeah. And it's not a big platform you're fighting him on, either.
Indeed. And just like that, Dungeon 1 in the bags.
Yep, both of them having themselves a surprisingly small cello.
I don't know, looks pretty decent size compared to Link.
Oh, actually, I don't know. It might almost be double bass size. Look, it looks taller than he is.
Indeed.
I was not a stringed instrument player. I played piano as a kid.
I played a drum for a couple of years. That's it.
Heck yeah.
Not a drum set, a single drum.
Hey, you know what? You can do some magic with a single drum. But all right. Another thing you can do in Japanese 1.0 is skip talking to the kids, because we are a slightly older kid and we have things to do.
You got time to mess with them.
And you also might notice that they are skipping getting the heart piece in the well in the village, which is one of the first ones that a lot of folks discover. There's a reason for that. We'll be back there later, not necessarily even because it's faster, but because there's actually a photo down there that we need to have someone with us to take. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
That was a little bit of swag right there. I haven't seen it done that way before. Jumping across the pit like that.
I've actually been seeing a bit more increasingly. I guess that's just a preference thing, and also a bit more super jumping here. Super jumping being the trick I mentioned before that only works in 1.0. So now we're going to use save and quit, because otherwise it would be trapped back there. And get out of that cave. We don't need that mushroom. On our way. But they're already on their way to Dungeon 2. This category moves pretty darn quickly. And here's the heart piece of shame, which is there's actually no shame in grabbing it here, because you have to grab it. This is 100%.
But because of backtracking, we'll be back there later.
Yep.
So we got a little bit of a pit stop before Dungeon 2. The camera shot.
Oh no, Spiraster having a little bit of trouble getting around the heart and not falling in a pit.
That's a true shame when you fall into the pit.
Thankfully, looks like they both made it. I'm gonna have their picture taken. This is, Sorry, I have to... Unfortunately, I have a little bit of the GD flu, so forgive me if I sometimes stop mid-sentence. And now we're on our way to rescue our best friend, the most important character in Link's Awakening DX. At least...
Go ahead.
No, it's just saying, at least for part of the game. Unfortunately, Bow Wow will not be our game-long companion here, but you'll have a few moments of quality time with him.
You know, it's so sad. I enjoy having Bow Wow.
I know. Such a good boy. Shaped like a friend.
I don't know about the good part.
Yeah, look at him! Look at them, smiling! Look at this good doggo.
Anyways, on to Dungeon 2.
Yep. First, a little bit more, some more shenanigans about to happen here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Walls and obstacles are just suggestions in this game.
Yep, because, actually, we haven't really... I think we kind of neglected to mention it, but... Anytime you see either of them walking up against a corner and Link seems to be a little tiny bit into the wall, that's called wall clipping. And it's incredibly useful, because it allows us to do things like the flock clip, which you saw them both use to get around that rock, and also is what is used to make super jumps.
So, yeah, walls are broken. And a suggestion.
Excuse me.
So here we are, Dungeon 2, nothing too fancy here, I don't believe.
Not too much. Dungeon 2 is a little bit... is just moving through it quickly. And I suppose that's all that could be said. Same could be said of all dungeons.
Pretty much. I mean, isn't that kind of the point of the entire category? Go fast?
Yeah.
It's a speedrunning motto in general.
Ooh, Spiraster pushing the right-handed block first. What a saucy strat. Also, that was High Nox. Again, game doesn't expect you to have a bow this early.
Hi, Nox. Bye, Nox.
That joke does not get old.
I am not sorry for it either.
If you hadn't said it, I was going to. So, ooh, interesting strat for the ghost there. I'm not used to seeing it done quite that way.
Yeah. Push them out of the way.
Now they have the power bracelet. A little bit different than using it in LTCP. You have to actually press and hold and then press back. But definitely has its uses. And here's the room that got a lot of folks stuck when they were first playing this game. Oh no!
This might be the worst room early game.
The Pole's voice just having none of Xander's trash right there.
So for those that don't know, you have to kill those enemies in that specific order, or else the chest will not spawn, and you need that chest because of the big key, boss room key, whatever it's called in this game. I don't know.
The Nightmare Key.
What is this game? Yeah, Nightmare Key, there you go. So as you can see, if you have seen last year's tournament, 80% no squoob, this dungeon's done the exact same. There's nothing in here we need to collect.
Yep. Besides
the power bracelet.
And not to mention, this boss is one of my favorite quick kills. So this boss was extremely slow and annoying when you played it casually, but wall clips will save the day and make this fight faster, along with, once again, the bow and the bombs. Both, you're going to see a trend here with a lot of the same items getting a lot of use. So you might remember you have to throw the bottle against the wall 3 times, but if you're clipped into the wall when you throw the bottle, the game says, good enough, and just destroys it outright, as you see right here. And with using a bomb and then using a bomb arrow to have the second one explode immediately before he has a chance to start teleporting around the room, you can finish both phases off lightning quick, just like that. Let's see if Spiraster can do it as well. Yes, indeed. Both of them still staying so close to each other.
You know, when you think about it, isn't a bomb arrow kind of like a firework? So maybe these runners are just celebrating July 4th a day later and shooting off fireworks everywhere.
And in case anyone is wondering, Green Tunic covering for us here, the bomb arrows are actually not a glitch. They are intended. You press the... Oh. That's all we can say about that. But we do get to use a bit more wall clipping to get around those flowers, so we don't have to wait for Bow Wow to eat them. That is one thing you will notice a lot in this category compared to No Squoob, is that there is a bit more detouring to see certain things or get things, and then often just saving and quitting to get back. Like right here, they're actually making the detour to visit the teleporter near the Dungeon 4 entrance, so that way it's a bit easier to get back here later once they have the key. And just like that, save and quit, and back at D2.
Oh, that was a quick backtrack.
Yep. Now they're going to get the Heart Piece of Shame, although it's not shameful, this is the correct time to grab it.
It would be a shame if they didn't grab it in this category.
You can't see it, but I'm making finger guns at the mic.
And now, upgrade number 1.
Yep. You might remember this guy. He gave you half magic and LTTP. In this game, he gives you capacity increases for your 3 most important items. And this is actually planned. We actually could get powder first if we just mashed through it, but no. We want to get the bomb upgrade first, because bombs are arguably the most important consumable.
Crunchy, you just blew my mind. I never realized this was the same bat from Link to the Past.
Yeah! Well,
I did not realize that till just now.
Well, that's one of the cool things I love about this game, is that it calls back references to Link to the Past and other Zeldas and even other Nintendo games, but in this game it makes sense.
That is Seashell number 4. If I can count correctly. No guarantees.
Yes, no, you're counting correctly.
Totally don't have notes in front of me that said that was number 4.
Well, I know I certainly don't. They're to the right of me. I mean, wait, what?
Yeah, on that teleprompter.
No! Do you think I'm made of money? I can't afford a teleprompter. This is probably worth more than my car. Are you kidding?
Wait, you mean the tournament admins didn't buy you one?
Why does this always happen?
Let's move on back to the route.
Okay.
But that was Seashell number 5.
Yes. And we're not gonna. They're actually not. You're not gonna see them grab any more seashells just for a while here, because they're actually gonna be on their way to the Seashell Mansion. Because the Seashell Mansion will actually give you bonus shells at 5 and 10. And you also saw that Xander is taking the opportunity to bomb that door and then bomb the statue here. One less menu if you can just blow them up now, because that's like we mentioned before during the pre-show. Menuing is a very important thing in this game, since there isn't a dedicated sword button. So you always have to make sure to have the items you want on the buttons you want, and also to pretty much to kind of combine usage as much as possible to minimize the number of times you go into the menu.
So now we're going to take our picture with a good friend we have never met before and will never meet again.
Oh, we see him once. You pulled this on me before. I'm not going to forget it and pull it back on you.
So there's our picture with Richard.
Yep, in front of his house that he can't go back to because apparently he was mistreating his staff or something.
I don't even remember what the lore is. I haven't played this game in English in forever.
The lore is he lived in the castle and then one day his staff just all started acting up and he had to flee. It's never explained why, so I've decided that it's because he's been mistreating his staff.
So that's number 6.
Yep, Seashell Mansion. And fun fact, it's actually possible to use bomb triggers to cause gifts of seashells to keep dropping here if you want, but it takes a lot of bombs and it's not actually worth it in the general scheme of the route.
So talking about that, we completely missed a trick over on Xander's screen that we're going to see on Spiraster's. So we just did Villa Skip and completely skipped getting all those, whatchamacallits, golden leaves, I think, for Richard.
Yep. And wait, what is... Oh, Xander doing something a little bit that I'm not familiar with here. Oh, okay, I see what he's doing.
We are trained professionals, knowing exactly what they're doing.
That's right, there's a seashell in the cave there. Now he pops out in the villa. Hi, Richard. Bye, Richard.
Who is that guy?
Richard?
Never heard of him.
Oh, he's not important, don't worry about it.
Yeah. So yeah, if you pause buffer on that pit on the screen Xander just left, when you hear Link falling into the pit, if you press down on the next frame, you can actually just fall down to the next screen and completely skip doing that side quest, which saves a lot of time. Yeah,
the downside is, though, because of subpixels, it's going to take a random number of pause buffers. So sometimes it's 2 or 1, and sometimes it's, like, 15.
Sometimes, well, probably could do it with none, if you're not me.
And now it's time for a little bit of Jesus jumping here. Where, if you... Very similar to the Villa Skip, if you manage to hit to pause and unpause on the same frame that Link would land in the water, despite the fact it doesn't have those flippers, you can transition the screens, then use a save and quit buffer to jump on the first frame that he respawns, which allows you to not continue to get stuck in a chain of drowning.
And keyhole's merely a suggestion.
Yep. Wall clips saving the day once again.
Now, nothing too fancy in D3. I noticed they're killing an awful lot of enemies, though.
Yeah, it's almost as if they're trying to set up for something.
Yeah, so you've seen it before, Piece of Power. In the 100% route, because of all the saving and quitting, you don't really see it make too many appearances. For all I know, this could be the only one.
Yeah, it should be the only one.
And well, there's someone here to confirm.
Pizza Power.
Don't make me hungry. So, real nice looking super jump here. Gotta be careful there. You can soft lock on that if you're not careful.
Yeah, thankfully, Piece of Power makes that a lot easier to pull off. The soft lock is having the extra foot speed makes it a lot harder to land between the blocks. In fact,
shoes. Sorry, I had to say
it. You said you would, and you did. You Final Flame delivering on those promises. Well, humorously enough, the picture is only a single shoe. Does that mean that Link pretty much runs only at a 1.5 speed instead of double speed?
No, he's actually hopping on one leg the rest of the game, despite what it looks like on his sprite.
Man, what a hero.
Do what you gotta do. And yeah, we don't need a key for that. Doing another flock clip. Now, consequently, you have to make sure you do not go back up the ladder afterwards, or you will get soft locked. But in this category, saving and quitting is allowed. The Spiraster missing a super jump.
Yeah, thankfully, the only way that super jump is dangerous is if you land to get stuck between the blocks. But now that they have Pegasus shoes, you can actually bounce your way out of them. The first super jump is the one that's really dangerous.
Yeah, Piece of Power actually really helps in this boss as well.
Yeah.
Because it does give you, I believe, is it double damage?
Yes, indeed.
Double damage, makes you move faster, gives you good music that makes for a great 10-hour-long video.
Yeah, there's a reason why No Save and Quit actually routes Piece of Power, because it makes dungeons a lot faster, a lot easier. In 100%, we only see it in Dungeon 3, but you can see just how trivial this boss becomes. This would take a lot more hits if you didn't have Piece of Power. Just like that, they have the bell. Which, I don't know.
It's a bell.
Maybe it's a cowbell.
It's an interesting sounding cowbell.
Okay, you know, why are you criticizing the Genesis? Oh my god!
Sega!
The Game Boy sound chip like this. How do they still have the Chomp Bullet Catcher? Well, that's because you don't actually lose Bow Wow until you return him to Madame Meow Meow, which they will do. It just has not been convenient to return to the village yet. Well, they will very soon.
So yeah, next up, Dungeon 4, but we have a lot we're going to do on our way there. Starting with this heart piece.
Yeah. I will say, learning this category caused me to realize there's a lot of heart pieces that I had missed as a kid, because a lot of them have like, oh, there's a crack in the wall here, or oh, there's something that indicates here. Then there's ones like this one, where it's just a wall. There's no indicator whatsoever, but you have to just realize, oh, there's a heart piece in this unmarked wall.
Oh no, what just happened over on Xander's screen?
Oh yes, more fun with bomb triggers.
So, we mentioned earlier how we can skip parts of the trading sequence. There you go.
Yep, because it turns out you need the honeycomb. Yeah, but we don't need to see Terran making a fool of himself and getting stung by 1,000 bees. So, although it looks like Spiraster's just going to show it off anyway, which I'm okay with. This is preemptive punishment for Terran, what Terran does later during a picture.
I like how I had a sword out for that entire thing.
Well, it's an anti-bee sword.
Definitely. So yeah, that is Seashell number 11, and as we mentioned earlier, we need, I believe it's 20?
Yes, indeed. In Fusion Scat, they do in fact have to collect the magnifying lens, because in 100% means you have to get the boomerang. But that doesn't. They do not do the entire trade sequence. It's actually possible to skip directly to the mermaid part of it, which you will see a bit later. Yeah, bomb triggers saving the day. I wasn't joking when I said bombs are the most useful consumable in this game. But
consumables? Do you consume bombs?
Yeah, doesn't everyone?
No, just you.
Maybe that explains what my dietitian says that I need to change when I'm eating.
I have no words. Anyway, now we have something you never put on pizza.
I'm not touching that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch it either.
Let people eat what they want on pizza. I'm not the food police. I'll leave Gordon Ramsay to that.
And now we're going to bring back Bow Wow amongst some other things. Have a couple items to collect.
Yep.
Starting with the Dream Shrine.
Well, I mean, they're not collecting the Dream Shrine.
That's what you think.
Mind blown. And Link, not unlike a lot of other youngsters, dreams of being a rock star, and what better way to rock out than with an ocarina?
I don't know, I prefer rocking out to some bombs, personally.
Oh yeah. Bomb Karina, best instrument.
And yeah, using a super jump, we just completely skipped walking around, taking out the mimics or whatever they're called. And yeah. So, on our way to the next heart piece.
Yep.
Time for a little bit of relaxing, if I do say so myself. You know, early morning, go out on the lake, and do some fishing.
And, oop, looks like he's just opting to let the small fish grab it and just go. It's faster than trying to catch it. And now, just has to pull close and get that nearby lunker. That's what the English game calls them. And this one has a heart piece in it.
So you're telling me the fish didn't contain a full heart? How is he alive?
I mean, fish are weird. And now it's time to return Bow Wow, and Madame Meow Meow's so thankful that she gives you a kiss. No, really, that's actually what the text says. And now we're going to celebrate taking a picture with this beloved pooch.
Or try to.
Oh, and someone asking about that. The trick that you saw both our runners do to get up to that top ledge to grab the ocarina early, that is a super jump. They've been using them throughout so far in dungeons, and you will be seeing more of them as we go on.
Yeah. So, I love these pictures. But for a super jump, it's as easy as clipping into a wall, jumping while, I believe, pushing in the direction of the wall, and then quickly swapping to the direction away from the wall. And the game thinks you're jumping down off of a cliff or something.
Yep. And Xander's still committed to trying to get that pit walk.
He really wanted it.
Yeah. Making a bit of a detour down here to get himself that 13th secret seashell, and now he's on his way to get our next traveling companion after Bow Wow. To anyone who was watching before the stream, this upcoming scene should be familiar.
And just like that, it's time to get the girl.
Yep. And because we're contractually obligated to mention it, the positioning and the seagulls in this sequence is always random. It's not that there's, 2 or 3 pre-programmed positions. No. Their positions are random. Every single seagull has a random position. You could play this game every day. I don't know, but you could play this game every day for your entire life and possibly never have the same pattern of seagulls twice. And I think that's beautiful. And in case it wasn't obvious from, just all the sequencing, Marin totally has the hots for Link.
I mean, I got that from all that text. Did Link just lift up Marin?
Yeah. And here we go. Into the well. We don't actually see the picture for this one, but it's basically her landing on him, which, way to be a gentleman, Link, cushioning the blow.
And now we get that heart piece, and now some more pictures.
She runs pretty quick, though.
She doesn't even need the speed shoes.
Pegasus sandals.
Never. Link looks so happy to be there.
Link, but remember though, Link doesn't talk, Link doesn't show emotion, Link just always looks really serious.
I know, a couple of these pictures he showed emotion in. Just not that one.
Maybe that was a smile, but the angle made it look like just a straight face.
Maybe the corner of his mouth towards her was smiling.
And here we are, here's the thing that Terran was preemptively punished for by being chased by bees. Hey kids, what are you doing here? Mind if I get comfy here?
There must be 20
Rude.
feet of space between you.
No. But funny someone mentioned this, someone asking where's Zelda. One of the actual plot points in this game is that Marin actually has a really strong resemblance to Zelda. Except that, you know, she's not a princess and she has red hair, so...
Something like that. So now we got a couple of heart pieces to get, some seashells, another picture, maybe even a song. And eventually we'll go back to a dungeon. There are dungeons in this game.
But first, it's time to have Marin do us a solid here and get rid of the walrus. You might remember this as the major bomb trigger and no squoob, but humorously enough, despite the fact we actually have Marin this time, we still use bomb triggers to activate the cutscene because it's faster than walking all the way across the screen. The difference being, this time when the game checks for Marin, she is here, so you don't have to worry about having to run all the way to a cavern to unlock our controls.
Yeah, if you remember from No Squoob, there is a very high soft lock potential here if you did not do it correctly. We don't have that issue.
Cyclone, please. This is a Christian stream. Now it's time for one of my favorite boss fights, Landmolus, Master of Invisibility. And he's dead.
Wait, there's a boss there? I thought you just fired arrows and you were given a key.
That's actually, I don't think I actually...
Don't fall into the pit, Xander! No! You're supposed to not fall into the pit! Oh, wait, we have to.
Yep, because there is a heart piece here. Humorously enough, I didn't actually know you could kill Landmolus before the music starts, so I learned something new today.
We're always learning something new.
Yep, that's the nature of this game. There's always something new and interesting that you thought you knew it all? Guess what? You didn't. A little bit of a detour to grab the seashell, and then, as you might imagine, save and quit.
Over on Spiraster screen, you just bomb trigger the heart piece pickup.
Yep.
Because that works.
And you're going to be seeing Xander do it here in a moment as well. One of those little minor route deviations. There's no real... You could probably break it down to frames that, oh, it's faster to do it first or before or after, but you just do it whenever you feel comfortable, or whenever you remember, I suppose, more accurately.
We should have told these runners they must take the exact same route. I don't know it well enough to see them do two different things on different screens. I go, like, am I missing something?
It's fine, don't worry about it. And Spiraster now taking a tumble down the sand hole there. And just blowing up... Did he just... How did he blow up that... He didn't have... I don't know how he blew up that wall, I'm confused.
He bomb arrowed it on the fall!
What the...
Well then... Perfectly normal things here.
Yeah, this is exactly how physics works on Koholint Island. And now it's time for a musical interlude.
Should I sing it?
Can't hear you enjoying music. I actually really like that tune.
I'm so tempted to now swap the audio over just to hear it again, but no. Maybe we'll do that later for the better songs.
And shoutouts to Board in the top left there.
To what?
Someone out there has to get it. Someone does. Otherwise I'll just feel like a fool.
I'm clueless. I tried.
And thankfully, no one forgetting to open the dungeon here. Someone got it. And everyone say hello to everyone's favorite happy fish. He's just happy to be here. Yeah, thankfully because of that teleporter there, you don't... Forgetting to unlock D4 does not really happen in 100%.
Darn. But I was looking forward to commentating that at some point.
Yeah, and you have me here too, and I managed to do that last tournament.
I remember that.
I remember it too.
That's alright. You know what? As long as you've never tried to hookshot a heart container on anglerfish, you're good.
Oh, wait. Most important trick coming up. And Xander gets it.
Alright.
Alright.
That frame-saving obstacle skip.
Yes. And don't worry, he's not... Okay, he's not actually going up there to try to help that guy. That guy is dinner. He's actually just setting up a handy-dandy spot so he can save and quit. First, a little bit of Jesus jumping to get up on these stairs. And on his way to do more picture shenanigans.
Oh, Spiraster missing the obstacle skip.
He has one more chance. He has one more chance. It's okay. So get one seashell here, and now also
nice
it's about
damage
time.
boost.
And setting up for gets butt sword.
Well then, mouse, no! Rip.
Goodbye. Good night, sweet prince.
He's dead.
Humorously enough, doesn't someone else take pictures from here or not? I'm just.
I have no idea.
I've never really paid attention, but I swear that it's actually someone different. And let's see if Spiraster gets it. Oh, Spiraster. Yes!
Yeah.
2 for 2 butt sword. Now Dungeon 4. Xander first set foot in Dungeon 4. Y'all might remember that Dungeon 4 is extremely odd and broken in No Scoob, but in this category, we're just gonna outright finish it.
Yeah, so in No Scoob, we actually, well, older routes split this into two. Newer routes, I believe, do this dungeon later, and that's a skip a bit of side questing that you are forced to do after the dungeon, but we're actually going to do that in this category.
We have to, because one of the photos you get after you do that side quest, so you have no choice but to deal with your ghosty friend.
I'm glad you explained that, because I was wondering why we did that.
Yep, after you return the ghost to his grave, you get to take a photo.
RNG time!
And there's also a secret seashell in the seaside house. Oh, Xander accidentally stepping on a tile out of sequence, having to start it over.
Giving Spiraster some more time to catch up. You know, speaking of the Pegasus boots, now there's only one flipper there.
Yeah.
So are you like a mermaid when you go into the water?
Well, I mean, just Link has. That's why you need to pick up the MDL to swim, because otherwise Link just kind of goes in circles. Oh, Xander going for fancy strats here, and he gets it.
Nice.
Ooh, that's faster than the move the pot strat, but it requires 2 tinks off the P hat there with super jumps. So it's definitely a little bit more. You have to be fast and you have to be accurate.
Yes, or else you can soft lock.
And now it's time for anglerfish.
Goodbye, anglerfish.
That was anglerfish. Oh, Cravone, why would you make me think of the Oracle flippers? My finger just started hurting thinking about having to mash the D-pad that many times.
Oh, I used to love those games.
They're great, but the swimming controls.
I'll do a shout out. So if you enjoy 2D Zeldas like this and you enjoy the Oracle games, there is an Oracle Seasons tournament coming up. Check it out. Starts in what, 2 months, something like that.
Well, they're building up to it actually. This Sunday is the first set of races of only 2 essences, so they're kind of slowly building up to give everyone a chance to learn it.
Indeed, I'm kind of sad I can't join that. I'll be at work.
Yeah, same.
All right, but coming up. Oh yeah.
Here we go. All right, everybody in chat, let me see you say "Oh!"
Oh baby.
This chat is awesome. I love you all.
The temptation is there to swap, but I won't. So that was song number 2.
Mambo's song.
Some more collecting before we go to dungeon... Not dungeon 5, actually, as I'm looking over the route.
Nope, nope, nope. We're on our way to the color dungeon.
Ooh. Sounds colorific. I'm sorry, that's the best I could come up with.
That was... I don't know.
This is why we shouldn't be allowed on commentary.
Give that a 2 out of 5.
I tried, okay?
I know. You did. Oh, we made a friend.
Hi, friend!
And every time you change screens, he will try to sing you the song of his people.
It's a beautiful song.
Yep.
Xander keeps going in these places and then leaving. Like, is he forgetting the route and getting lost? He must be. It's the only reason, right?
No, not at all, because remember, save and quit in this game puts you at the last door you entered or exited. Which is actually pretty handy, because you might remember in Link to the Past, you only get usually one of 4 spots you start unless you're in a dungeon. Link's Awakening, a lot more forgiving. Also, that pillar of the bridge is actually a pit.
I see that. It's a nice bomb trigger.
Yep.
And suddenly we have a piece of clothing.
Uh-huh, a bikini top. Fun fact, in the US version of Link's Awakening DX, you're recovering the mermaid's necklace, but it turns out in the original, she lost her bikini top, which suddenly makes the fact that she will not come above water make a lot more sense than it did in the English version.
Indeed.
Because, you know, apparently children are not allowed to know about swimsuits.
I've definitely never seen one before.
Just like that, they've managed to skip to the end of the trading sequence because the mermaid's scale is the last thing you need before the magnifying lens. But here's one of the most challenging tricks of the entire run right here. You're going to see Xander try to jump and then basically bounce off this, I just forgot what they're called all of a sudden. Is that a Zora?
Zora?
Yeah, there's Zora shot and then do a jump, and might not be in position correctly. It looks like... There we go. Oh no, he's a bit too far down.
Oh, dude, Ghost. Hush.
Oh, actually, I did not know that. Shoutouts to Karyoplasma in chat mentioning that if you dive in front of the mermaid, she actually calls you a creep, which makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
And there it is. Magnifying lens. Now we can, just like a real magnifying glass, we can see invisible things.
That's definitely how that works.
Alright,
did the fisherman just catch a mouse?
Possibly. And unfortunately, Link got so excited that now the fisherman is... That is a strangely detailed face of a fisherman drowning.
And now we get to see it again. While Spiraster here goes for his Zora bump. Yep.
Again, like we said before, a lot of it is just minor sequence differences. I guess he wanted to just take care of that first. And here, Spiraster is opting to do it second. And, oh! Bumping the Zora into another position. There's multiple ways to set it up, actually. The most common one is, I think, seems to be bouncing off the Zora's shot, but you can also bounce off the Zora itself if it's closer to you. Alright, and now it's time to take care of some business in the southern part of the island. This is one of the parts of the island that's actually visited the least, because there's not much going on down here, aside from just some things to collect. Yes, Phantom Matt. The mouse asks him to pose, and his posing game, too strong, knocks Fisherman off his own boat. Is the ghost following you the ghost of the mouse? You know, might be, but then that would make it all the weirder that the mouse already would have a tombstone, unless... the mouse was dead all along. The Seventh Sense, coming soon to a Game Boy Color near you.
Yes, they're still releasing stuff from the Game Boy Color.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't they? Great console. But now it's time for one of the most powerful weapons in the game, surprisingly, the boomerang.
And we're not joking either.
Oh, good heavens no, the boomerang is exceedingly powerful in this game. It's not just for stunning anymore, it does a crap ton of damage, and in some cases can just one-shot bosses even. We'll be seeing that later. And also allows us to do an exceedingly important trick coming up in Dungeon 5. Well, a bit later. We're not going to go to Dungeon 5 for a while yet.
A little bit more side questing to do before Dungeon 0. Because that's how things work.
Yeah, because it's... Oh, yeah, Color Dungeon. Where are we going to put it? Could we call it Dungeon 9? No, that would kind of cause conflict. We'll just call it Dungeon 0. It's fine. Yeah, the boomerang also causes bushes to explode. That's how you know you got yourself a champion's weapon here.
That is pretty awesome.
And now it's time, once again, for this guy. This time they're going to be upgrading arrows. Because arrows are extremely useful, and by this point, this is actually, believe it or not, carefully routed out. By this point, your arrow count is getting low because of all the bomb arrows and just arrows you've been using, so it's a great time to get that capacity increase and also the refill that comes with it.
I don't know, I think you should go for powder.
Yeah, getting powder is usually a hard reset, so you don't accidentally save that. And here we go, the only use you'll get of Mambo's Mambo. Which teleports you to Mambo's Pond, right next to Crazy Tracy's house, which casually gives you a really good potion, which is gives you one free full refill when you die.
We don't need that.
Nope. But now it's time to return the ghost to his grave and get a photo.
Because who doesn't want a photo at a graveyard?
But first, it's time to talk to our friend, the owl.
Yeah, I forgot he existed.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen him. And here we go. Time for a picture. Ghost mouse photographer taking ghost photos. And there's our friend. Look at him. He's smiling now.
It's kind of a scary picture. How do you get a picture of a ghost?
Carefully.
Is it a special kind of camera?
It's a camera obscura. Oh! The bat! The bat with the troll! Now it's time to push some gravestones, because nothing says getting into a dungeon quite like desecrating a gravesite.
Seems like a good idea to me.
And just like that...
A color dungeon.
Yep. And interestingly enough, this game could actually be played on non-color Game Boys, but the way they made sure you couldn't go into the color dungeon then was, these skeleton bros basically ask you, what color am I, or what color am... Well, they basically ask you to tell what color they are, and if you can't get it right, you can't get into the dungeon.
Interesting.
So the game can't actually detect if you're playing on a Game Boy Color or not. That's how it gets around that. Which I always thought was kind of funny.
So and also a little bit of a stop here. Yeah, we need rupees. Approximately 250 that we need to farm.
Because you need 300 to get the best song. So
yeah, we came in with 60. So, hey, whoa! What do you mean the best song?
Yeah.
I disagree, good sir.
We literally had this conversation earlier in this run.
And I still disagree.
Okay. But you know what? We're grown adults. We can disagree and still get along.
Maybe.
Oh, am I gonna have to take you off my Christmas card list now?
I'm on your Christmas card list?
Yes? You mean you haven't been getting them?
No, I must have gone to wherever your teleprompter went.
Why you gotta poke the rash? Oh, meanwhile, that was a boss.
Yeah, I really can't say much about Color Dungeon. I'll leave this one to you.
Yeah, Color Dungeon, unfortunately, has some cool stuff in it. A lot of them, well, cool stuff in the sense that there was a lot of color-based puzzles. But honestly, the bosses in this dungeon are an absolute joke. Even the final boss. So we just did a hard reset there after getting whatever was in that chest. Key, maybe, I didn't even see. And that is so we can go back to this review room and collect even more. Because as we mentioned, we need 300. And with that is all the rupee farming they will need to do for the remainder of the run. And here's another boss. And there was another boss. I'm seeing a trend with the bosses in this game. And that trend is what bosses? Well, that's the unfortunate thing about the bosses in this game are actually pretty cool. I always thought they were really clever flavor-wise and just had really fun strats playing them casually. The problem is that since we get a lot of weapons ahead of time or do things of that nature in the speedrun, the boss just kind of become an absolute throwaway in almost all cases. That is not to say you can't still die. I mean, shoot, I've died to Facade in races, when he's considered one of the easiest bosses casually or in the speedrun, but... And we're coming up very soon here on the final boss. And there's something to do here about the colors and doing stuff with the colors, but it's already dead.
I looked away and completely missed it.
That's fair. But now it's time for the most important question of the entire run. Which of the two tunics is Xander going to pick? Is he going to go for the red tunic, which gives you the extra damage and launching capabilities of the Piece of Power, or the blue tunic, that gives you the damage reduction of the Guardian Acorn? Going for red tunic. Alright, so basically, Xander now will do extra damage and have that knockback effect that the Piece of Power has. Unfortunately, not getting the speed boost of the Piece of Power, but the extra damage is nice. Spiraster also making short work of that boss, question mark? Now, but let's see. Which tunic will Spiraster pick?
I'm betting red.
Most likely. Most folks tend to pick red, but I'll still be curious to see. And
Maybe
he goes
surprise us
for...
one day.
He goes for Akka, so he went for red. Wait, no! Went for blue!
What?
Went for blue!
Are you serious?
Ooh! Ooh!
I wonder what's going through his mind right now.
Menuing so fast I did not even see the cursor change from red to blue. That is true top-tier strat right there.
I'm saying this, dude. If Spiraster wins this race, I think we have ourselves a new route.
Well, funny, here's the thing about this tunic colors. Red does do more damage, but having the extra knockback effect actually also increases invincibility frames, which on a couple of bosses actually makes the red tunic actually causes them to take Cover for me for a second while I regain my thoughts.
Oh, real quick. So we're here in the side maze, and with Xander struggling getting over that pit, suddenly we have ourselves a race again.
Ooh.
They are neck and neck.
Alright, what I was saying though, I remember now, is that the red tunic gives you extra iframes on hit, which means that in a couple cases of a couple of bosses, it's actually harder to kill them quickly because you can't swing your sword at them as fast because of the red tunic. So the blue tunic makes a couple of boss fights easier. Otherwise, the red tunic is better in all other cases. Words are hard. There's so much going on in this race, in this category, that it's sometimes difficult to keep up with it. Alright, everybody.
Yeah, I'll let
Stand
you
up and put your hand over your heart. It is time for the best song, the national anthem of Koholint Island.
Look away.
But listen with your heart. Jokes aside, though, look away if you're prone to anything with photosensitivity.
To answer a question in chat, Xander struggled getting over a pit that's a bit tricky to get over without the hookshot, and fell a couple times.
Yeah, we had dual frog song playing. That's a rare treat. And if Koholint Island played in the World Cup, this is what they would play. I would love to see that.
Instead, now we get to hear the lovely heartbeat. Never mind. And now Spiraster's in the lead.
Oh my goodness. This is wild.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Alright, well they are now on their way to Dungeon 6. But before they can go into Dungeon 6, they have to do a couple of things. They have to first get the Dungeon 6 key, and also take this long detour to get a heart piece in the moat around Canelet Castle, which was that's the name of Richard's Castle. We don't call it Richard's Castle because Richard's a dork. And this is actually also one of those heart pieces you would tend to miss playing this game as a kid, because there's really no indicator it's here, but just there you see Spiraster grabbing it, and now Xander grabbing it. You have no reason to suspect that would even be there.
Fairly certain I never found that.
thankfully, saving and quitting allows us to get back on track real quickly. Now they're on their way to their Armos maze.
Well, but first, one more picture.
Yes, indeed. Unfortunately, Link apparently is not a fan of fish, or the smell of fish, because keep an eye on his face for this one. He's so upset that he got a unibrow for that shot.
I didn't even notice that part.
No,
I see it now.
That's why I'm here, to notice the really unnecessary details.
We appreciate it. It's a tough job if somebody had to do it.
But yeah, on the way to Armos Maze. Armos Maze is is shield appreciation area.
Ah, that sounds accurate.
And also,
the shield is not useless.
It is not. And it's also, there's a secret seashell hiding under one of the Armos over here. Don't usually come over here, but it's there. That's where it is.
And that is number 20.
It's true. So, unfortunately, running all the way back to the Seashell Mansion is a bit of a detour. So, you're going to see them both go to... Just get the key here, and then go to Dungeon 6 and knock it out first. Because, honestly, you don't really need the sword that much in Dungeon 6.
This is so close. It's now coming down to how well do the players know their menu right now.
Yep, now let's see. Looks like Spiraster's going for boot strats, and he gets it. Xander going for a bit more classic strat, and... losing a little bit of time. Spiraster now popping into the lead.
I don't think that's really losing time. They got the key at the same time. So Xander choosing not to save and quit.
Yeah, thankfully making use of wall clips whenever possible to avoid running into Armos. Saving yourself a little bit of time there, because they still do hurt. Looks like that blue Tunic life is helping Spiraster. He doesn't have to worry about damage as much. Alright. Now just have to make their way through this maze of rocks and bushes and get into Dungeon 6. And unfortunately, one of the coolest tricks in No Scoop will not make an appearance here. You can, if you had Bow Wow with you, Bow Wow could actually eat the cutscene of the Dungeon 6 opening. But we're just gonna have to watch it rise out of the ground like normal.
You know, you said coolest things about No Scoop. My first thought was, wait, we don't do horse heads?
Oh. Don't worry, we're gonna get to see some skill heads here today.
Is it bad? That's what came to mind at first. Like, no, I want to see horse heads.
Oh, they're coming in this dungeon. I hope both of them had plenty of time to practice, because if not, it will show. It will show. Also, D6 has a one... all the dungeons have really good tunes. D6 has one of my favorite just mellow tunes in this game, though. Taking full advantage of that boomerang, though. Useful for hitting those diagonal shots, hitting all sorts of things.
Spiraster had to backtrack. He actually did not get the boomerang at first.
Oops. This room also has multiple strats. You might see different folks do them in different ways, but that's one of the more common strats. Okay. On our way. Take care of those whiz robes. And... oh, not hookshotting up to... oh, that's right, they haven't done Dungeon 5 yet. My brain is locked into No Scoop. I have to stop doing that.
I just now realized, wait a second, we skipped Dungeon 5.
No, we're just mixing things up a little bit. Which means they also can't use the invincibility trick in this room, so they're just going to be breaking these tiles as fast as possible as soon as they pop up with a sword to get out of here faster.
Nicely done.
Smooth.
Link lifting that statue with ease.
Oh yeah, that's a level 2 power bracelet for you. Let's have a little bit more fun with Wizrobes here.
We're going to see this room done a little bit differently, maybe. Because, yeah, Xander had to be able to knock back. Spiraster didn't have to time his sword swing. He could just knock back the enemy and he was good.
Alright, here we go. It's time for some more super jumps. Hope you haven't had enough of those. Set one up in the previous room so you can get up here faster. Get to that nightmare key. And the only time it appears, throw a treasure chest at the treasure chest. Throw a treasure chest at a treasure chest. No, throw a pot at a treasure chest to open it.
Can you please demonstrate this, throwing a treasure chest at a treasure chest?
No, I only have one treasure chest, and I can't throw it at itself.
But then you'll never be able to get that key.
Well, there's a reason I haven't been able to get into my house in years.
Alright, here we go. Have they been practicing?
Here we go, it's time for skill heads. How many attempts? Oh!
Oh, he's been practicing.
And wait, and... Oh no.
Third try, still pretty good.
Yeah, just hasn't been practicing as much as Xander, unfortunately. That was such a beautiful show of skill.
Also, show of he must have borrowed Bamboo's cart. And hey, onto a boss that's it's a boss. Allegedly.
Yeah, you might notice a recurring theme in Link's Awakening DX is that bosses have hitboxes before they appear, like, frequently. So, 2 more bombs will put a Facade to rest here. And that's it, he's done. Although, interestingly enough to note, this boss is still not a complete throwaway, because those tiles and things flying around the room can and will kill you. If you're not paying attention to them. They do what? A full heart of damage, I think?
Something like that. I hate to admit, I have died on that boss.
And,
it's been a while, but it happened.
Xander juggling bombs while holding a triangle.
It's the only way to play a triangle, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Spiraster, unfortunately, doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, so unfortunate.
How unfortunate. How is he able to juggle while holding up a triangle with 2 hands? And why the heck is this triangle so big?
And yeah, there's an owl there, supposedly.
Turns out you can bomb trigger the owl. Unfortunately, Spiraster not getting it. All right, but now it's time for some fancy visual effects because Xander's about to get himself a level 2 sword. I always thought this was the coolest thing when I was a kid. Like, you could forge a sword, or alternatively, you can make a sword out of lightning! And when you pick it up, you get to be like in the Star Wars poster.
Ooh.
Ooh. I hope you like those beams, it'll never shoot that many again.
Alright, now we can go to a place that you've been begging to go for quite a while. Crunchy, where's that place?
I haven't been begging to go to Dungeon 5, that place sucks.
Oh, there you were the one thinking we had the hookshot already.
I said that once! Once! Oh, thankfully, this dungeon goes from being the longest in Node Scoop to being one of the shortest here, because that annoying thing with Master Stalfos, Master of just being a jerk, we just don't deal with that. We just don't deal with that.
We've got other methods.
Yeah. Thankfully, the boomerang continues to prove itself to be one of the MVPs of this game, because it turns out, if you carry the key item, it's in the previous room, which happens to be a key.
That was bad. You should feel bad.
I always feel bad. That's the secret. But if you time it just right, so that you pick it up on the same frame you pass through the door, let's see. Then the game actually carries it into the next screen, and it counts as just like that, as having picked up the key item, which is the hookshot in the next room. So just like that. But it is a frame-perfect trick. But Xander gets it first try, real nice.
The meme channel is being spammed by clips of commentary. Don't know why. I can't imagine it.
I can't. This is wait and
and you could see the sprite of the hookshot there for a brief moment.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I said, it has to be on the same frame, so this might take a few tries. But the thing is, doing the dungeon normally is so much slower that even taking multiple tries to get this is faster than doing the Stalfos runaround. This is honestly, I feel like a trick that's... There we go, he gets it. A trick that's in the same category as the upcoming Rooster skip is a bit of a gatekeeping trick to be able to do this route optimally.
Now, instead of doing a fancy jump over this pit, we can actually hookshot across. After, of course, hookshotting the wall for luck first.
Yep, don't have to do dumb jump.
I was trying to remember the name of that.
It's called dumb jump, yeah, because it is a very dumb jump.
Dumb jump number 2, 3, I lose count.
I think that one's dumb jump number 2.
Sounds right.
Because there's another dumb jump, which at the moment I'm actually drawing a blank on. But humorously enough, Bamboo Shadow actually letting us know something I didn't know this actually. If you see the hookshot on the screen transition, then you never actually get the hookshot. Because that means I guess that means you got too early.
That makes sense.
All right, Xander on his way to the boss. So this is actually one of those bosses I mentioned that it's a little bit harder with the red tunic, which is also one of the same reasons why you would not want to have Piece of Power for this boss, because what you do is you pull him out of the wall with the hookshot and then hit his heart, but you want to maximize the number of hits. It's not a damage thing, it's just a number of hits. So, with extra iframes from the red tunic, the timing of the hits shots is a little bit harder. You only got 3 hits there as opposed to 4 that you would normally get.
That was 4.
Was it? Oh!
That was 3.
Yeah, unfortunately, it takes 8 hits, so it's going to take 1 more hit here, just like that.
Counting with commentators.
Yep. In my defense, I'm an engineer, not a mathematician, so that's what I would call within acceptable tolerances.
I have no words.
Obviously not an English major.
No, I was not.
But just like that, they have themselves the Wind Marimba. This is actually the first time I ever heard of a marimba in my life as a kid, so this game actually broadened my musical horizons.
There's that sweet song.
Oh, we get to hear it twice. Oh, I like that.
So Spiraster's actually gonna have an easier time with this boss, and should get an easy.
Oh, no!
Never mind.
He gets hit by his tail, losing out an advantage. Unfortunately, Wall Snake comes out wherever the heck Wall Snake wants, so if you get good enough for the fight, you can almost always guarantee the 2 cycle, but sometimes you just doesn't want to give you good positioning. But with D5 in the books, they're just gonna have to stop and grab themselves a heart piece, and then it's time for the other big trick. Oh boy, because even though we have the best song, we never actually use it, which is unfortunate because casually, you might remember, you have to use it to resurrect a very important animal.
Crunchy, wait for it, because you know what's coming up first.
Oh gosh, you're right, I'm getting ahead of myself. You have to get the most important trick in the game a second time. And he looks good.
Oh yeah.
Gets
it. Yeah, that sweet obstacle skip.
Sweet, sweet obstacle skip. But no, Xander's on his way to Rooster skip. One of the most daunting tricks to anyone playing this game. Because you don't have the flying rooster, and you have to get through a room that's a big S-shaped pit. And falling down, it doesn't just put you back at the beginning of the room. No, it drops you back out into that river. So it's a huge time loss, 30 to 40 seconds. But thankfully, because the hookshot, while you're hookshotting, the game doesn't check if you're standing on solid ground. We're going to see Xander here shoot out the hookshot and then buffer so that he can jump on that first frame. Because if you press if you feather on the same frame that the hookshot retracts, you have 1 frame to jump before the game realizes, oh wait, you're not on solid ground. And Xander getting it on the first try, real clean.
Nicely done. It is possible to do that bufferless, but I'd say it's much more difficult, and then you run the risk of falling down.
Oh yeah, not to mention the fact that
way out.
Yeah, not to mention that even because of subpixels, even if you do it perfectly, buffered or bufferless, the game will sometimes let you, you'll see the hookshot shoot out, but you'll hear the sound of falling, and you'll still fall. So, this trick does have a subpixels. Oh, Spiraster, I thought he was not gonna get it. Yeah, but no, anytime you watch someone like, I think Bamboo does it bufferless, I know, Vlack does. TGH is not in this tournament, but he does it that way. No, there's a lot. Anyone who does it bufferless, when you see them do it, it's quite a sight. Especially once you understand how the trick works. It takes so much practice. Alright, Spiraster about to try his own Rooster skip here. I don't remember if Spiraster does it buffered or bufferless. He does it bufferless! Oh no, he's buffering it. And there's that magic pixel. He should be fine here. First jump. Oh, I think he got... Oh, he's going for down strat. Didn't quite get the magic pixel. The thing is, there's a certain frame that you can identify when it's retracting. Oh no! Yeah,
that is so unfortunate.
Yeah, there's an individual frame of the animation you can tell that when you see that one frame of animation, instead of buffering the save and quit, you buffer the map. But if you don't get it, which is possible because subpixels, then you just have to mash the hookshot button and try again the next retract. So it's a challenging trick, and it's also one where things can just go wrong, and you have to roll with it. And the penalty is just so unfortunately big time-wise. Especially now with Xander already in D7. Oh gosh, I'm in a little bit of trouble setting up the bomb triggers there.
That's one way of doing it.
Yeah. D7 is bomb triggers the dungeon, because you might remember you have to go pick up this big metal ball and break the pillars. No, breaking pillars is an event, so bomb triggers.
It's pretty awesome to do. And you saw y'all grab the dungeon item, level 2 shield. Yeah, it didn't take long to get it.
And thankfully, Spiraster getting himself that D7 key already on his way. Unfortunately, that put him. That was a pretty hefty time loss. So Xander having a bit of a healthy lead here. However, this run is not over yet. There's still D7. Well, D7 is almost already over. It's a pretty short dungeon in the speedrun. But then there's still D8, and there's still the egg. Depending on certain factors in the egg, this race could still have a different outcome. Because anyone who knows, that last nightmare fight is
a nightmare.
Yeah, it is. It's unfortunately, a little bit of RNG gatekeeping right at the end of the run, which is the worst kind of RNG gatekeeping.
Come on, Goombas. Xander going for Goomba Surf. Took a little bit, but he got it. Still was probably quicker than the P-Hat jump.
That's the thing. The P-Hat jump is consistent, but takes a little bit longer because you have to go a couple rooms out. So you just have to ask yourself, are you willing to take the chance that the Goombas will cooperate? Because, Alright. Here we go, Spiraster opening D7 right as Xander starts his fight with Evil Eagle. That's the most anticlimactic sound. Oh, that's right. Once you hit him, you can hit him off screen with a hookshot, just like this. And
is that what's happening? I was wondering.
Uh-huh.
Like, I've seen people do that, but I didn't know the details.
The hookshot is an extremely useful item. I do like that about Link's Awakening DX, is just that all the items are useful in so many ways. Many of which I'm fairly certain aren't developer intended, but it makes for a very entertaining speedrun.
I mean, have we ever asked the developers if they were intended? Because if they've never said no, maybe they are.
Yeah, you know, it could be true, but at the same time, I think it could also be one of those things where they found it in testing, like, no, that's just kind of funny, we'll leave it in. Hard to say. Hard to say.
So just a couple more things left to do.
Yeah, seeing Xander use the same quit menu there to break out of his trajectory so he can actually avoid falling in that pit. Falling in that pit will drop you all the way back down to the river in front of D4. You would like to avoid that.
I've done that more times than I care to admit.
Yeah. And now it's time for my least favorite part of the run. Because they're on their way to D8, and since they've beaten D7, they're going to get a cutscene on the upcoming bridge where the Moblins have left Marin on the bridge. But we don't have time to grab her, unfortunately, because there's a really long cutscene if you do. So using some creative jumping, because the Rock's Feather is a very good item, you just kind of leave her there. I'm sorry, Marin.
No, we're not!
I'm sorry!
If you're so sorry, then I expect you in your race to go talk to her and save her. So,
is that a challenge?
So, Spiraster deciding not to even bother with Goomba Surf, he just went ahead and killed him right away. Yeah, that was a P-Hat RNG setup.
And here it is, time for the final Banana Man.
How far in are they? Very much near the end. Less than 10 minutes left, I would say.
Yep.
So after
Dungeon
this,
8.
Yep.
And yeah, in the egg remain. Just like that, they're going to get the least useful upgrade, which of course is the one that's the default option.
Can we change the definition of 100% to require you to play that cutscene with Marin?
We could, but that would require us to convince other people to do it, which I'm pretty sure is impossible.
It's called bribery.
That would require me to have money to bribe people with. Oh yeah, and they have the level 2 shield, but you don't actually need it to get past the flamethrower. A little bit of a wall clip, and some Pegasus shoes, and you're good to go.
Can't believe they skipped me.
I will say, I love the fact that even though they actually have the tools required to do these things normally, it's still faster to do it the speed way. And here we are, Dungeon 8. This dungeon is a bit of a drag, but whatever. Thankfully, we skipped most of it.
What a surprise.
Yeah. Almost like this is a speedrun or something. Well, there's a little bit of a different route than you might be used to. Just by virtue of the fact that they do have to make a detour. Wow, that was actually pretty swanky. A bit of a detour to grab a heart piece that's on the ceiling. Well, on the outside of the dungeon. But first, it's time to take out Blano. That was Blano.
Once again, I'm seeing a theme with the bosses.
Yeah. Unfortunately, have we ever actually seen in a tournament what happens when Blano punches you?
I have not.
Neither have I, that I can recall. For those of you not aware, Blano's big party piece is, if he punches you, he just knocks you back to the beginning of the dungeon.
That's a powerful arm.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this? We're jumping on lava and now we're swimming in lava?
Oh my. Look at that fanciness.
Such hot movement.
The hottest. More super jumps on their way to get the Nightmare Key. But first, this boss that we did not see in Dungeon 4.
And that was a boss. You barely saw it in Dungeon 8.
Yep. Man, we need to clean up our act. Good thing the Roomba's here.
I wasn't prepared.
You're welcome. Yeah, the fun thing about this room to me is the fact that there's multiple solutions, so everyone has a jumping pattern and a Roomba pattern that's different. Yeah,
the favorite part is just that it's now called a Roomba because of you.
I contributed something of no use whatsoever. My work here is done!
Man, that's
and there
the
we go.
Heart piece.
Yep. Just the heart for...
Good thing he got that heart container out of it, or else we'd have been a little worried.
Yep. Now it's time for one last shenanigans here with just walking on lava, so that you can super jump off that wall and get straight to the dungeon boss. Hothead.
You'll actually see this boss for a little bit.
Yep. Hothead actually does have a little bit of RNG to him, though. Because the amount of hits required to get him to his outer shell to break off does vary. But looks like Xander got it and manages to get him before he falls into the lava. Real nice Hothead fight there.
Spiraster getting his Hookshot clip, or whatever that's called, past the key block.
And now it's time for the other most important trick in the game, and... Xander gets it!
Even more important than Butt Sword.
It's Wang, boys. Uh-oh. Spiraster, please.
I thought he was about to give us that demonstration.
I thought he was about to give him the uppercut right back to Sad Town at the entrance.
Ugh.
But on that note, Xander has all of the Siren's instruments and is on his way to the Windfish's egg. It's a good thing he has that magnifying lens so he can go and read the book to know the directions, right?
Crunchy?
Yes?
We don't need to do that. Hate to break it
We
to
go
you.
through all the trouble of we had to go through all the trouble of getting the magnifying lens, and we don't. How does that even work then?
So, if you never read that book that's supposed to tell you how to get through the egg, it's the same pattern every time. So, all of the LADX runners know it. Whether or not they can remember it in the middle of the run is a different story. I've seen some split names with a left, left, up, right, right, up, left, up in it.
That's actually pretty clever.
Do what you gotta do.
Yep. And as you say here, Link is playing the bombs like a champion so that he can open the egg. Because playing a bomb is faster than playing the ocarina. Did you hear that triangle player going ham in the middle there?
Yes, I did. It was beautiful. I shed a tear.
Alright, here we go.
Yeah, so the boss fight here is going to be a little bit different than what you've seen before in No Scroob.
Mm-hmm. First things first, he has to get there, but Xander's showing off the fun thing where the rooms actually loop. It's just keeping track of the exits you take. And thankfully, with all these bombs, Xander should have no trouble whatsoever setting up for the bomb triggers to skip the dialogue box. And he gets it. Unfortunately, this means no cool nightmare music, but let's see if he can set up for the blob quick kill here.
We need a setup for this tech skip and the music.
And looks like he gets it. Nice.
So that's phase 1 of the boss down.
It's lottery time!
Get your blue ball guesses in chat.
Yep, first 2 yellow ones are free. After that, unlike Link to the Past, you can get as many blue balls as the game wants to give you. There is no hard cap on them. So now it starts now.
And yes, walls are just suggestions in this game.
Ooh! 3 yellows. Needs just 1 more. And also Spiraster getting Wang Boys, no DQ for him. Ooh! 0 blue balls for Xander! And having to do a little bit of a different timing strat for a Moldorm, because you can't just swing the sword quickly because of the red tunic. And just like that, Ganon's done. And that was Lanmolis, Master of Invisibility, again. I hope you're all ready for Deathel.
Yeah, very late.
You ever not knowing this guy was? You have to hit him with a bunch of arrows when he opens his eye. And this time, unfortunately, we have Deathel's natural predator with us. I think Deathel knows it because he's not opening his eye. And that's it. Deathel's dead.
Good job, Boomerang.
Oh, man, that Boomer... Pardon. Alright, I'm back.
Like that. Up the stairs he goes.
And Xander is our winner here today with an official SRL time of 1:22:41. Which apparently improves his personal best race time on SRL by 8 minutes and 11 seconds.
Not only that, that improves his regular PB by 2 minutes.
Nice! Impressive.
From 124.40 to 122.40. Congratulations.
Ooh, putting him ahead of the legend Zorlax. And now Spiraster getting her back just in time to catch the end of his beautiful solo. I'm crying all over again. And there he is. Xander, congratulations. Both on the PB and the race win.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad run, but I pulled through in the end, I guess.
No, you absolutely did.
Yeah, I had a really rough start, but I had a minute of free time save in D5, so I guess that works.
This is a pretty close race. I'd say about 2/3 of the way through is when you started pulling ahead.
Yeah, the goddamn pit in Monka S Maze, dude. It was so bad.
Yeah, and then I think
why it's called Monka S Maze.
Yeah, and then before D7, Spiraster took a fall during Rooster skip, and that unfortunately he did not catch back up after that.
Yeah, I did actually have the race up, but I saw some of it.
Yeah, that's the issue in the signpost maze is what allowed him to really tie it up for a couple minutes. Really nice to watch.
And also, how about that Agaluk, though? 0 blue balls.
Yeah, that was insane. Spiraster is actually still having a good run, though.
Yeah, he could pull out a PB here.
Let me take a look here. Yeah,
126 and change.
Yeah, this looks actually pretty promising for him. Oh god, then he gets a blue ball. Why do we even open our
Commentators,
mouths?
hush!
Did you just refer to us in the third person? Why would you do that?
I was more referring to you, you know.
I'm only one commentator. You call me fat?
I have no words. I will say, it would have been nice to see the blue Tunic win this race. Let's not forget about that.
Never forget. Yeah, level 2 sword though just makes that again. Using the boomerang on Lenmolis, that's just insult to injury right there. Have you got any other thoughts? How do you feel about that race your run as a whole, your performance?
I think I actually did pretty well throughout. I just had some big mistakes. And I do have to say that my run is not actually valid because I did not pit walk. It's the most important trick.
Sorry. Real quick, Spiraster finishing second place with a new PB. 126.34 was his old PB. This one's a 125.53.
Very nice.
Official SRL time 125.54.
Whew. Getting some excellent performances out of both you guys. Both you guys did great here. It was a lot of fun to watch. You guys were close for so long and much.
I mean, I brought up early on that there was a chance of seeing PBs today, and we saw 2 of them.
And man, did you call it?
I'm just that good.
Yeah, my rupee luck was insane too.
Unfortunately, Spiraster will not be joining us today. But if you can hear us, great run, guy, and congratulations on that PB. And everyone, take a look at the giant, magical, flying, talking space whale.
Best part of the game, IMO.
Now, let's see, this is a... Oh, we can actually talk about brackets, because this is actually a Swiss tournament. So this means that, Xander, you're going to be moving up to 1-0, facing off against someone else who's going to win their first match. Now, that could mean a lot of things. This tournament's still pretty young. But what are you going to be doing to prepare for your next race, if anything?
Runs.
Hoping to improve that PB, maybe get close to the world record?
And probably practice that jump for an hour.
You definitely practiced your horse heads coming into this.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah. First try at horse heads.
Also, I swear, the heart reset before starting actually manips rupees.
Of course it does.
Maybe.
Of course it does.
I don't really have anything to talk about, unfortunately. So I hope you're not waiting on me.
I mean, there's not much to say. That race was tremendous. That was everything I hoped it could be. And not only was that tremendous, but we have more. Yes, we have more Link's Awakening DX coming for you tonight, in fact, if I'm not mistaken.
Indeed, we have 2 matches coming up later today. One at 5 o'clock on this very channel. It's a Black versus Dragon C0.
Ooh.
And then one at 10 p.m. M-Chan versus White Wolfos. So we're on Speed Gaming 2.
Oh yes, we're gonna think that's one of the things I like about Swiss. We're gonna have a lot of LADX coming for you.
Oh yeah.
And more races tomorrow, Saturday, and on Sunday. All sorts of stuff. Hang on. What?
So, just taking a look at the Speed Gaming schedule. Coming up next, if you don't want to leave this channel, you just want to stay locked here all day, we have the... Is it Ultimate or Ultimate? I'm not actually quite sure. It's a decathlon. Team Tourney #1 Game 2. That's coming up starting in about 13 minutes. Meanwhile, over on Speed Gaming 3, you got Luigi's Mansion. Speed Gaming 2, Link to the Past Randomizer. Speed Gaming 4 currently has the end of a Nier Automata tournament. And as we mentioned, some more LADX later today.
Never a dull moment. There's so many speed gaming channels, and they all have stuff going on.
Indeed. All right, Crunchy, you want to send us out?
Oh, I was going to ask Xander if he had any final words, but I think he has. Oh, Xander, you got any final words?
I'm bad.
Shimon.
So bad you got a PB.
Yes.
But maybe someday you will be good.
Maybe. In the far future.
But that's certainly a long-term goal to keep your eye on. And we look forward to seeing how much closer you can get to it throughout this tournament. Okay. But but I think